Good evening. Hi, I'm Richard Dore, and I'd like to welcome you here to Let's Talk Live at the Harbor Church. I'd like to introduce my guest, Troy Ingersoll. Now, Troy is an administrator of the Pines Christian School, which, if you go to church here, it's just about 3 blocks north of us on Western Avenue. And Pines is in a situation, very luckily, they are expanding. And so they're going to need to rent some classrooms from the Harbor Church for the upcoming school year. And I think that's going to be a benefit that's both beneficial to Pines, obviously, because they have the students to fill it, but also to the Harbor Church because this is going to give us more families who are going to be coming here with their kids, and hopefully some of them will stay with the church. But before we get into that, Troy, you were a student at Harbor College and in Wilmington here, and I understand that you were offered, maybe not necessarily to your liking at the beginning, a part-time job or something to do with the school. And it seems like that event kind of was a catalyst that kind of changed your life eventually.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I started out I grew up in Christian schools, like the one I work at now, and like Harbor. And then when I graduated high school, I was excited to finally be free, but my college schedule, it worked out where I was free to do morning daycare and PE and some of the other things that were needed at the local school. So the principal offered me a position and kind of pulled me back in.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I worked there. I worked with her for 5 or 6 years. I think I ended up working there 8 years actually through school, and yeah, it's kind of made a career at that point.
Okay.
That's kind of how it started.
Well, I know after Harbor, you went online and you were actually working towards your master's in what subject?
Theological studies.
Theological. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I realized quickly that my ministry would be more in the school realm.
In the schools. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, what happened was, I guess, Pines used to be Western Avenue Baptist in the 50s, right?
It did. Yeah.
And so in the early 50s, did the church end somehow, or somehow Pines got the church as its campus?
Right. Yeah.
So there's no church there anymore. It's just a school.
Right, yeah, it's just a school. It was in, I believe it was 1996. There was an issue with the church that was occupying Western Avenue Baptist. There was some change that happened, and my parents ended up going in and, acquiring the school, and so they started in '96.
Oh, okay.
At that time, I was still working. I was at the airport. I worked at the airport for 2 years doing facility maintenance, all the repairs, lighting, electrical, things like that.
Which has kind of been to your benefit.
Yeah,
what you're doing with this school.
It's been a real benefit because that's part of my burden.
To do everything around this school.
Right, on every campus we rent and every campus it's been a blessing and a curse actually.
Yeah.
But we do save a lot of money by me being able to do all those things. So, but yeah, that's when the change occurred in '96, and then I actually went there in '98.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's just a school. We kept the Western Avenue Baptist name, and we do business now as Pines because and interesting enough, we did have, a few years back, we had a 3rd generation student. So we had a grandmother who graduated from Western Avenue Baptist.
Oh, really?
Her mother graduated from Western Avenue Baptist.
Oh, my God.
And then the granddaughter was a student of ours for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah. So we wanted to keep the history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pines basically is just a Christian school.
Mm-hmm.
It's non-denominational.
Yes.
So you just happen to be where Western Avenue Baptist used to be. There's not. And I think what you say you have a little chapel there, only holds about 40 people or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a small chapel. We do weekly services with the kids.
So it's basically, what's left over from the church.
Mm-hmm.
And so now let's see. You have at this one you have a preschool, correct?
Yeah, we have.
Or no, excuse me. Now let's go back. That's down the street a little bit. No,
Right.
What you have is kindergarten through 5th grade.
Yes.
At the Pines on Western.
Yes.
Okay. So what exactly is that like? I mean, when you have a lot of kids coming in, well, let's go back. You do have a preschool down on Anaheim and Senator,
Mm-hmm.
which is south of the church.
Right.
And I think you also operate preschool in Gardena and San Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you have a potential transfer, so where they can come now have a school that they can go to coming to Pines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're foreseeing in the future of having some growth issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why this was such a beautiful thing, Harbor being able to work with us.
Okay.
You know, we have basically three preschools feeding into one small, very small elementary school.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so we're hoping that, you know, as we grow, we can maybe utilize more space here if you guys like us, and we benefit the church.
Okay. Good.
But yeah, I think it'll be a unique
Sure.
and interesting
I
relationship.
I think it might work out very well.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for additional preschools? I don't know if you
No.
guys are building more or trying to look for other locations.
I didn't have any plans at all, actually. You know, our first preschool we've owned for 10 years, and I actually looked to purchase the campus. I owned senior homes at the time, a senior home, and I wanted to do expand that part. So I went to this campus, and it wouldn't work. So I told them I wasn't interested. And the Lorenz Hillside School, if anybody's familiar with Harbor City, that's kind of like an icon school that's been there since the 70s. Anyway, so the owner, she just kept calling back saying, look, I want him to have it. I feel like Pine should have it.
Oh,
Troy
cool.
needs to get this. And they kept bugging me, and she said, I know it won't work for a preschool, but you're in the school business too. Open a school. And I really didn't want to. I really didn't, but I felt like the Lord was opening the door, and at some point I just, you know, I couldn't say no. She carried the note, and the school,
Yeah.
she made it where we couldn't really say
Yeah,
no.
okay.
And honestly, it was probably one of the best decisions we've ever made.
Good.
Somehow, I don't know how we survived for so many years without having a feeder school in the
Yes.
elementary, but
Sure.
somehow we did. The Lord just
That's good.
blessed us, and we've just kind of muddled through.
Okay, well, Pines is, like I'm saying, kindergarten through 5th grade. Well, you know, we're talking about feeder schools. What happens to the kids who graduate from 5th grade?
They go all over. We have a certain percentage that are in the gifted range. A lot of them end up in magnet programs. We have some students who continue in Christian schools, but there are not a lot of Christian schools around.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the last decade or so has been really hard on Christian schools, but some go Catholic, and then a few end up in public programs.
Okay.
Yeah, but we really try. We work with Pacific Lutheran. We try to keep kids. Our heart and our goal is to keep them in Christian schools.
Okay.
So Christ Lutheran gets 3 or 4 kids a year. Pacific
Okay.
Lutheran gets 3 or 4 kids a year,
Yeah.
and then 1 or 2 in the magnet program, and then 1 or 2 probably in public.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you have now? Okay, about how many kids are going to Pine?
We have about 125 students enrolled, so we have a bit of a hybrid program where 110-ish are on campus, and then we have 15 or so that are doing distance learning from
Okay.
home.
Okay.
Yeah, so that campus full would probably be about 125, 130.
Okay.
That's pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, but due to COVID now, we have a limit of 14 students per classroom.
Now, some of the distance learning because of COVID, or is it this
Mhm.
something that they want to do?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Okay.
We were really trying to push our staff. We have an older staff. They've been with us for 20 years, a lot of them. But we've been trying to get them a little bit more tech savvy. So it literally took a pandemic to get them tech savvy. But
Yeah.
now we're 5 years ahead in 1 year where we were before this. So we have some curriculum done online. Our reading program's done online, and then but the vast majority of curriculum is done on campus.
Okay.
Yeah, in person.
But even with this amount, even like you're saying, the health department, I think, requires that you keep the 14 so you can have a 6-foot
Yes.
separation, correct?
Yeah. The rules were changing from day to day,
Yeah.
honestly, in the
Okay.
beginning, and we fall under 3 jurisdictions. Department of Social Services, Health Department, and
Yeah.
where most schools closed, the Lord really, it was amazing how we were able to just kind of evolve through, get the variances and the clearance and the waivers and everything that we needed to remain open.
Yeah.
So looking back, we honestly didn't close one day. We
Okay.
weren't closed one day. Yeah,
Okay.
which I think we're probably the only school
Okay.
that can say that.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, God bless you.
Yeah.
So in other words, what we're going to do now is, but you, even with the COVID, even without COVID, you're getting a lot more students than normal. I understand you're kind of getting maybe a little push towards Christian schools, which is good.
Yeah.
And so, based on the restrictions you have on the classroom sides, you need to expand
Right.
for your 4th and 5th graders, so you can handle more K through 3
Right.
at Pines.
Right.
So my understanding is your 4th and 5th grade classes are now going to be coming to Harbor Art School. And I understand the fact that, what, you said they were here today or yesterday, they were here
Yeah.
for a tour?
Yeah, they were here today.
Kids,
Yeah,
the kids
they
came and saw the school. That's good.
Yeah, it's like a 3-minute walk from our school.
Yeah.
So they were really excited. We brought about 30, I believe it was 30 students over.
Okay.
Something like that, 28. Yeah, and they loved it. Well, and this is new for us. I mean,
Oh, of course. But still.
Yeah, these kids have been with me since they were in kindergarten, and they've never. Yeah, this is a whole new world for them, so they're
Yeah.
really excited.
Okay.
So, yeah, our campus is so small, so
Yes.
that they really outgrow our campus at about 3rd grade. I mean, you can't kick a ball as hard as you can on our campus because you'd break something.
Okay.
So here it gives our 4th and 5th grade an
Sure,
opportunity.
we have basketball court and an open field. Yeah.
Yeah,
understand.
I mean they can really let loose here.
Yeah.
And be kids. Where on our campus is very controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4th and 5th grade, very good. Well, now I know you were saying about a 3-minute walk. Let's see, your school is open, what, 6 to 6, something like that?
Yes.
Pines?
Yeah, longest hours of any school in South Bay.
Okay. And what will the hours be for the Harbor Church kids?
We have a full food service program, so we're trying to figure out a way to the students that come early, probably before 7:30, they'll be dropped off on our campus, eat breakfast there,
Okay.
and then we'll walk them over. So they'll probably be on this campus from about 7:30 to 4:35.
Okay.
I would say, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if it grows, then that might change. So ultimately, we probably would want to be here 6 to 6, but then I'd have to work out the food program. Let's say down the road we have 4 classes here.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out how to deal with that part. But
Well, obviously you have breakfast covered at Pines, but what about lunch? What will the kids here be doing for lunch?
well, right now the plan would be to cook it family style there and bring it over, and then serve it to the kids here.
Okay.
So yeah, we're working on the logistics. We'll have to hire somebody to watch the kids during recess anyways. So that person would probably bring the food over, and there's a whole logistical thing that we're working on.
Yeah.
Being that it's all new, but it'll work. It always works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you won't be needing to use our kitchen basically though.
No.
You'll be Pines will be taking care of everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked about maybe doing a special lunch a week.
Yeah.
Maybe if their homework's done every single night, figure out a way to do some fun food things. So, and they are getting older, and they do get tired. We have a very repetitive menu on our campus, and I mean I eat it every day, and but these kids have 6 years, 7 years of their life, they're eating the same 4-week schedule.
Okay.
So it might be nice when they've earned their way
A
into
little
4th
change,
and 5th grade. Yeah.
Change the menu around a little.
Yeah, have something different.
Okay. Well, that's nice. Well, I know, on the board approved the agreement to rent the property or the 2 classrooms. And even in that discussion, we talked about the potential advantage to Harbor Church because what are we going to have? 28 to 30 kids coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that means they're coming with families.
Right.
And since you don't have a church as such, they're going to be kind of looking at Harbor Church as a potential church for the family.
That's our hope.
And
yeah.
so we're looking forward to that being a benefit to Harbor Church, where we might be able to grow the congregation.
Right. Yeah, we're excited. That's a beautiful, wonderful thing that we're excited about, making
Yeah.
that connection. And we've done it with other churches. You know, we always try to get our families involved in local churches.
Yeah.
So with some of the other local churches, we do pancake breakfasts, and we do, you know, the key is just to get the people on the church campus and get them comfortable. And this is the ideal one. I mean, when they're dropping their kids
Sure.
off and picking them up here.
Sure.
So,
Oh,
you know,
so close too, which is nice. It's not like
Yeah.
it's way out in another city somewhere.
right.
So that's a good benefit to the families.
Yeah, and then the church would need to come up with some types of programs that would benefit the kids and the families. And I believe it would be a very natural transition for them to want to be here. The youth pastors involved, they could do chapels for our school.
Yes.
You know, even on the elementary campus over there, and then they get familiar with it, so the transition over here would be natural. And so I think it would be just a very natural, you know, easy thing. Yeah.
I know that your campus is pretty small, so it kind of restricts on what you can do. But if you do start to develop more over here, we have a sanctuary and stuff like
Right.
that, fellowship hall. So there might be a possibility that Pines, you might get involved in some bigger programs or events and use our facilities to kind of even
Yeah.
bring more attention to Harbor Church.
Right. Yeah. No, that would be the key.
Good.
Yeah, we've never been able to do that. Our everything on our campus is done in shifts.
Yeah.
So recess is done. A group goes out, the other group goes to lunch, and
Sure.
then it's we jokingly say that we breathe in shifts.
Yeah.
So we've been blessed with lots of kids and not a lot of space.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But yeah, if any of the congregation ever wants to come and visit and tour, we could show them and they could
Excellent.
see
Okay. Well.
what a beautiful environment we've created, but unfortunately outgrown.
Yes.
Outgrown it, yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad the kids came to here. I'm glad they had a positive experience here. Now, all of your teachers are credentialed, and I believe you follow the ABECA, which is a Christian program, curriculum.
Right.
And I've actually heard from some people that ABECA may be even more academically challenging than some of the curricula being used in the public schools. And it is God-based, so obviously your focus is a strong Christian focus and stuff like that.
Right.
And since Pines is Bible-based, which our church is Bible-based, I think it's going to go very well. You're going to blend in very well with us. But that's exactly what. Describe the teaching program and everything. I think you have a possibility next year you might be altering a little bit of how you handle the classes as you expand.
Right. Yeah. Right now, the biggest hurdle we've had, not just on the elementary campus, but on all of our campuses, is hiring. There's a shortage of qualified workers.
Yeah.
So we've had issues with that. But I know what I have with the current staff and the quality I have with the current staff. So the plan for the future would be to have two separate groups of classrooms. Let's say, for example, third grade. And I would have my head teacher, who's been with me for 22 years or whatever. She would do the core subjects with one group of students, while the other class would do the non-core subjects.
So if you have like 2 third-grade classes.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 third grade, and then they would switch. The teachers would switch with the group. So
Yes.
the head teacher, the one who I know is excellent in math, reading.
Yeah, the basic, the fundamental, yeah.
All the core stuff. So I have the
Core stuff.
strength of that teacher working with both third grade
Okay.
groups, and then I have the vitality of the younger, more fun, up and coming teacher doing some of the, the other curriculum with them.
Yeah, not the let's say the non-academic, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, art and things like that, music.
Yeah,
Okay.
less core subjects,
Yeah,
and
okay,
some of the
less.
online things they can do as
Well,
well.
that's good.
Mhm.
So you
So-
think that'll work out pretty well
Yeah.
for the coming year?
Yeah, I think it'll work well. I know the staff. I know the teachers that I have, and they're up to the challenge. So we had a big meeting about a month and a half ago after I met with the board and talked about some of these changes in the future, and I was a little bit concerned. We've already gone through so many changes because of COVID. I mean, I could spend a half hour telling you all the things. The Lord lined everything up prior to COVID so that when it did hit, we had a Wi-Fi system set up that I could have 100 computers online at our school. We have a telephone system, intercom system between the classrooms now.
Good.
Just all of these things fell into place.
Good. Good.
Prior to COVID.
Excellent.
But no, I know that my current staff can handle anything that is thrown at them at this point, and they'll do an excellent job.
Okay.
Yeah.
But right now, we'll only have a single 4th and 5th grade here.
Yeah, I would have lost about 30 students, 28 students, had we not
really
been able to work this out with. So
really?
Kids that have been with me since kindergarten, I would have lost about 28 of them because we just didn't have space. We didn't have space.
It's really been a blessing then.
Yeah, so Harbor Church stepped in and really gave these kids, and where would they go? There's so few options right now. So they would have probably, a lot of them would have been forced into public school.
Yeah.
So what a huge blessing for you guys to approve us of
I'm
this.
glad it worked out. It worked out.
So after next year, we'll have a 2nd, 3rd grade class. After that, it looks like if things go well, the following year we'll have 2 4th grade classes, and maybe the following year after that we'll have 2 4th and 2 5th.
Well, I think we have room here.
Yeah, there's plenty of room to grow.
We
for
have
sure.
an empty school building, so we have room to grow.
And we would love to fill it too.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice in addition to all the academic electives you have, because you're Pines Christian School, you have like a daily Bible study, and for all the kids have a daily Bible study.
We do. We're definitely a Christian school.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a very good reputation for strong academics. So we have had people come in the past and say, hey, we want to enroll, but can you not do the religious part? And it's like, well, no, that's the whole reason why we're here. Sorry, you're going to have to tolerate that, but you're welcome to come. And we've had devout atheist families come. They don't stay long. We plant a lot of seeds in these kids while they're here.
I can imagine.
So when the parents start to see a change, it doesn't take long for them to pull them. But we still planted seeds.
Yes, that's good. Well, that's good. That's right.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying. Hopefully it's not in rocks. It's in a nice, good soil.
Fertile soil.
We can grow. Fertile soil on the grow.
Yeah, and it's integrated. Christianity's integrated into all aspects of the curriculum.
Yeah.
That's how it is with Rebecca.
Yeah.
And we do daily Bible class, weekly Bible memorization.
What is that? Describe the memorization.
So for example, kindergarten, it's age appropriate.
Okay.
So for kindergarten, when my son, he's 22, my youngest, was in school, the first week of school was the letter A, and there was a Bible verse that corresponded with that.
Really? Okay.
Ask and you shall receive, or something like that.
Ah.
And then the next week, and then it gets progressively harder. So 5th grade has 4 or 5 sentences that they have to memorize every week.
It's kind of blended in with the learning process, too. It's not just strict memorization. There's an element of a learning. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and it usually corresponds with the Bible class of the week. We allow the teachers the flexibility. We want the diversity amongst the staff, so we don't have a set Christian or Bible curriculum, which is unique. Yeah. So each teacher takes a different approach to it. So by the time a student goes through our program from kindergarten through 5th grade, they've had all kinds of different angles and ways of being taught,
good.
The Christian part of it.
Good.
So, yeah.
Now I understand they have daily time in the chapel.
Yeah, weekly. Yeah,
or weekly, excuse me.
Yeah, now this year we weren't able to do that because the chapel became a full-time classroom this year.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And due to COVID, we're not actually allowed to share space. So our students don't even eat in the lunch area this year. They eat in the classroom.
Okay.
So, but typically, which we would probably walk over here. So every single Wednesday is chapel.
Okay.
So a couple times a month we do it in the classroom with the teachers.
Okay.
And then 2 times a month we meet as a whole school. So it could be out in the yard at Pines, or it could be at Kingsway, or probably in the future it will be here.
Well, that's what I was saying. Any thought to using our sanctuary, especially for the 4th and 5th graders?
Oh yeah.
Maybe using our sanctuary.
We would probably bring the whole school over.
Yeah.
Yeah, another real good way to create the connection that we were talking about between the church and the school would be to do graduations here. We we want to work with you guys on special events. I know you guys used to have a big fall festival, which we've done that. Yeah, any way to make that connection, we're open to. So,
Good.
yeah, but graduations and things like that are real obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I hope that that will continue to work. Obviously, we have additional classroom space, so if you guys grow,
Yeah.
which that to me is nice, because I haven't heard too many growing.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rare in
And
that.
so that's well, one thing you mentioned too. You have no outside benefactors as such,
No.
and you basically, your tuition, you try to keep that as low as possible, but that tuition runs the school. So you and a lot of other people have to kind of look at this as almost like a ministry.
Oh yeah,
So
100%.
it kind of it adds a whole new element to your teaching if you're looking at it as a ministry.
Yeah, it is. It's not designed to make money. That's never been the goal at Pines.
Yeah.
The goal at Pines has been to provide a Christian educational experience that's affordable to almost everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we do discounts when we can. We do. I mean, it's very inexpensive. Keep in mind, too, we also feed them. So there's.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
There's
right.
breakfast, morning
That's part
snack.
of the tuition?
It's included.
Ooh.
So I think our tuition rate, the base one, is like $125 a week or something like that. Yeah. So
Pretty good with food.
right. Yeah, some kids can eat about that much.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So yeah, it's very reasonable, and yeah, I don't know how we've survived as long as we have. Honestly, it's just the Lord's chosen to bless us, and we've not charged much, and we've not paid real well, but we've provided a really great product that we're proud of, and yeah, and we're still here.
Well, I guess, obviously in 2008, 2009, a big financial meltdown and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
COVID coming in and stuff like that. What other obstacles do families face getting their kids into Christian schools? I mean,
there are a lot of obstacles. Well, one is if they want to buy a house, that we lose a lot of families. They do come in, and then they end up, if they want to buy a house in South Bay, they end up using that tuition money to help pay for the house.
Sure.
But for the ones who, we try to keep our tuition about equal to a car payment.
Okay.
So I mean, a lot of our families are lower income, and they choose to drive. We do have some wealthy families too, but the majority of our families, it's a pinch. They have to stretch to do it. And what a beautiful thing, honestly. There's no better reason to pinch pennies, and then to work hard to try to keep your kids in a Christian environment.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the biggest hurdle, I think. But
Is that obviously, we talk about prayer warriors, and we have the enemies and stuff like that. What does it take for a Christian school to succeed in today's world? I mean, you've got to have so many things just flailing at you. I mean,
the world's coming at us fast.
Yeah,
and we're working hard to keep it out. And it is difficult, I could tell you that. But it's the staff. I mean, a lot of it's the staff. Their heart is with these kids, and they've been doing it for so long. If it wasn't for the teachers that we have, it would be really, really, really difficult. But they have a little magic in them, every single one of them, and they come in, and our little school is protected in a lot of ways. The kids that come out of our program, for the most part, are very innocent.
Yeah.
So we've somehow successfully been able to keep the world out of it. Unfortunately, when they leave us, a lot of times we hear down the road that, they ended up in a public program or something, and
Sure.
And there's issues down the road. So, I mean, I think like I said, the biggest goal for us would be to figure out a way to make Christian schools affordable to everybody.
Yes.
So that parents don't have to decide whether to buy a house or not buy a house, or keep the old car because they can't afford the new car payment and tuition.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be a beautiful thing if the church as a whole, the body of Christ in South Bay, could come together and figure out a way to really promote Christian education, because it's more necessary than ever. So, and when we took over Western Avenue Baptist, the founding documents and the reason for them starting that school back in 1955 was almost exactly the same then.
Okay.
When you read those documents, the reason for it was the condition of the public school at that time.
Interesting.
And how much further have we gone since then?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it's a important thing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I think that Pines is blessed, and thank you for all the work you do in it. But I hope that your connection with Harvard Church is going to be beneficial to both Pines and to us. I really hope that you're going to help us grow with some additional families. And I know we always had a good time, and we always had success with our church school that we unfortunately had to disband because of different types of circumstances and stuff. So it's nice to be back working with you and then getting a school program.
Right.
Well, I thank you for bringing your 4th and 5th graders over, and I hope that in the future we're going to see more of them. Maybe start to expand our school a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's going to be very good.
That sounds good. That
Yes.
sounds good.
Okay.
We'll revisit in 5 years.
Okay.
Have another one of these and look back on
Let's
what
hope
we
so.
did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Troy for visiting with us tonight. Again, Pines is right down the street. You probably pass it. Anytime you drive down Western, you're going to see it. And you're welcome to go there and visit the school if you'd like and stuff. But we are going to be they're going to be in the upstairs classrooms on our church school building right across the alley. And we're welcoming them. They'll be starting the next school year. Be starting here, and we're welcoming them. And we just hope that you as a church will continue to welcome all of these people to your church. And I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you have a very blessed week, and may God just bless you and keep you in everything you do. And again, thank you very much. Good night.